What is up, everybody? Eric here from Soundcast Studios. Today we will be comparing and contrasting the three compressor color modules that DIY recording equipment has. Full disclosure, DIY recording equipment sent me these modules on loan so I can make this video, but any opinion is entirely my own. The three compressor color modules definitely sound very different from each other, and they are all very useful when being used with the appropriate material. The Implode FET compressor module is definitely the most versatile of the three. It is the one I would recommend most people get, since it's the one that you'll get the most mileage from. For $130 at the making of this video, you get an 1176 style compressor, which we all know can be used on a ton of sources and it always sounds good. The other two color modules are a little more niche. They're significantly more colored and distorted than the FET Implode, but because of that, they have a different use case scenario, and so they wouldn't necessarily be used in every application. The FET Implode can be used in significantly more instances, and so that's the reason I recommend that one, just for the versatility. So I thought it'd be a cool video to make, to compare and contrast these in real time with different source material. So I'm going to be using vocals, bass, and drums, since I feel like compression can be really heard on this particular material. And so I'll be switching between all three compressor modules so that you can hear the differences that they add and have a better understanding of which one do you think would suit your needs better. So now let's get started with vocals first.
She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her. She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her. She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her. She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her.
I unintentionally set them up from cleanest to most distorted. The far right one, being the Toneloc, is the most distorted for this application. You can definitely hear that it was a lot more gritty than the other two. The FET Implode, like I said earlier, was the most transparent. It's still audible compression, since these three are pretty aggressive compressors, but in comparison, it was the most transparent. And the MN50 was in the middle ground. I like the MN50 because of the adjustable release knob, and so I do think it works well with vocals. Sometimes it really depends on the vocalist, but the FET Implode, in my opinion, works best on vocals, and in general, it works best on most things, except for drums, which we will get to. So now let's get to the bass. So on bass, the differences are a little more subtle. I definitely like the MN50 for this application, since it adds a little bit of distortion, but it still sounds very pleasant. The Toneloc also adds a little bit of distortion and would also work really well. They're kind of hard to distinguish, at least to my ears. And the FET Implode very much sounds like an 1176. Not super interesting, but it still sounds very good. So now let's get to drums, which is when these modules really begin to show their characteristics. So with drums, I made sure to have a setting where they're all fully cranked so you can really hear the compression. And as you can hear, they sound incredibly different. Again, the Toneloc is the most distorted. It sounds super crunchy. It sounds just really dirty, which for certain applications, that could be what you want. The MN50 sounds really crushed. It sounds a lot of room sound is brought in. And then the 1176 sounds like an 1176 with just crushed drum mics. It's not on the full all-in button mode right now. It's on the 4-to-1, but it still sounds very compressed. And I do think it sounds very good. So now the question becomes, which one is the one that's right for you? Personally, for me, if I had to choose one out of the three, it would be the FET Implode, since it's the most versatile. It's an 1176, which, I mean, it's kind of a very well-known compressor. It's used in a ton of records. It has a very distinguishable sound, and it sounds really good. But if I was going for something more colored, I'd have a tough time choosing between the Toneloc and the MN50. The Toneloc is a lot dirtier, it's a lot grittier, it's a lot more exciting. When used in parallel, you can get some really interesting things to happen with your sound. The MN50 is still dirtier than the 1176, but it's not as dirty as the Toneloc. So it's kind of in this middle ground of trying to do two things at once, and it's kind of doing them decently. It's not doing one particularly well. The Toneloc, in my opinion, does the distorted sound significantly better because it really distorts. And so now it's up to you to decide how clean or how distorted do you want your compression to sound, and how much versatility do you want out of your compressor color module. With the most versatility being the FET Implode, the MN50 has an adjustable release knob, which gives it that extra bit of versatility. But the Toneloc has only two settings for fast and slow release, a set attack time, which makes it the least versatile, but also makes it the most gritty. So they are definitely, all three of them are definitely very useful and very good to have. But if you had to choose one, I hopefully have given you enough info to help you make that decision. So that is going to be the end of this video. In the comment section below, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you thought I could have done better. And I'll see you all in the next video.